All praise going down is most certainly to the Most High, the God of the patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and peace to you. In the name of Jesus, this is your brother Elisha Israel of the household of faith. And I count it truly a blessing each and every single time that I can come before you to preach the word of God, and never do I count it as a light thing to do so. All right, brothers and sisters, I know today is the day, New Year's Day, as they call it, and I just want to briefly touch upon the history of this pagan practice. Just like Christmas, just like Easter, just like Sunday worship is pagan. This is not the new year. Peace to you, brother Isaiah. This is not the new year. It won't be the new year at 12 a.m. That's asinine when you really think about it. There's no difference between 12 a.m. and 1 a.m. when you look outside. Just like at the beginning of the year, so-called beginning of the year, there's no difference between January 1st, January 31st, December 31st. When you look at these days, what do you find? You in the dead of winter. What's new in the dead of winter? Everything is dead. Everything in nature is dead. And it is reborn when in what we call the spring. Because that is when the year begins, around the time of March and April. And that's what the Bible tells us. But I want to just show you something on how to keep time in the Bible, because it's not what you think. Peace to you, brother. It's good to see you there, Brother Willie and Brother Isaiah. And peace to everybody that's listening. This is Genesis, the first chapter, and verse 14. I want to get this in before now. I've been seriously late. I was only 2 o'clock last night, 2 a.m. I want to get this in before they start shooting and acting a fool. This is Genesis 1 and verse 14. It says, and God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to divide. Peace to you, Brother Leo. Good to see you, brother. To divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. Okay, so now this is how you tell time. It's not man came up with 12 midnight. That's when something's new. That's not when it's new. Again, there's no difference between 12 midnight, then 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. It all looked the same. But he said, that God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day. That's talking about the sun, and the lesser light to rule the night. That's talking about the moon. He made the stars also. And this is how you tell time. And just I want to read something here just to show you how we got it all wrong. Forgive me, because we've inherited this from the Europeans, quite frankly, this method of time. He says, I'm just reading verse 5, 1 and 5. He said, God called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day. The evening is the actual beginning of the day. I know that's complete opposite of what you've been told, but that's when the day begins. And you can see the day coming in. That's how you know it's a new day. Just like in the spring, when you can see, you hear the birds chirping, right? You see flowers springing up, sprouting out. You see the change in the trees. Just like how you look at fall, you say, wait, they dying. These things about to die. You about to go into the death, what is called winter. So it is. You can see that. You can see that. Now you in the dead of winter talking about this the first of the year. This is not the first of the year. And you know it's not the first of the year. Even if you never thought about this. If you look at now, some of these months are named after people and so forth. We don't even look at January, who that's named after. But if you look at it, look at September. September is what? The 9th month. But sept, S-E-P-T, means 7. October is the 10th month, but O-C-T means 8. November is the 11th month, but N-O-V means 9. December, which we're about to leave out of, is the 12th month, but D-E-C means 10. Something's not adding up. So, but what happens is people just go along with the customs. I was up watching this morning, looking at the TV, the news. I'm watching CBS News, and they're showing the first thing I saw, they showed it was crazy looking, but they showed New Year's Eve, New Year's in North Korea. That was because we had 24 time zones, right? So there it was already, New Year's, and so then they showed Hong Kong. They were showing that mother whore, what was going on in the Vatican. They had a Thanksgiving service prior to New Year's, but so the whole world is going off of this time frame. They for the most part adopted the Gregorian calendar, but that's what man has done, and the tomfoolery that he comes up with, and the paganism that he comes up with doesn't have anything to do with what the Most High established. You see that in the day. If you really think about it, what man is doing doesn't make any sense. But you see wisdom and knowledge in what the Most High did. Let's go to Exodus, the 12th chapter. And once you come and see, when Israel came out of bondage, they were given the time that they were supposed to adhere to. I'm going to say to everybody that's listening, like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. This is going off of algorithms. Like, share, and subscribe. But Exodus, the 12th chapter, and verse 1. It says, and the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, this month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Now that infers that perhaps they were dealing in a different time keeping method of the Egyptians. Okay, but we understand what month was he talking about? Well, we'll read it in a second, but let's see what they did in this month. And speak unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of this month, they shall take to them every man a lamb according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house. So that's when they were supposed to take the lamb that they were supposed to sacrifice, and that's supposed to be a perfect lamb, on the Passover. They were supposed to sacrifice on the Passover, but they took it on the 10th day, and they kept it until the 14th day. Because it says here in verse 6, and ye shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. Now, why? Just a side note, they got it on the 10th day and kept it until the 14th day. That was a trial period to ensure that it was indeed pure, without blemish. Like the Messiah who came and died on the Passover, he was without what? Without sin. Like Pilate said concerning him, I find no fault in him. Okay, so now, but what month was that? If you look at the Gregorian calendar, when the Passover falls, Passover falls around the time of March and April every year. So now, that's something to consider. Let's go to Deuteronomy, and we'll see the name of this month. Deuteronomy, the 16th chapter. And here Moses writes the following. He says, observe the month Abib, and keep the Passover unto the Lord thy God, for in the month of Abib, the Lord thy God brought thee forth out of Egypt by night. Again, that corresponds to March and April, according to the Gregorian calendar. We're on the Gregorian calendar right now that was established by Pope Gregory. Okay, that's the calendar we have. I believe that replaced the Julian calendar, which has some mistakes in it. Okay, but that month Abib in Hebrew means like green. Okay, it's the time when things are reborn, if you will, in nature, around what we call the spring. So again, he says, observe the month of Abib and keep the Passover unto the Lord thy God, for in the month of Abib, the Lord thy God brought thee forth out of Egypt by night. Because they left that next day after the Passover, on the 15th day of the first month, of Feast of Unleavened Bread. That's why they had to be dressed. Their loins girded, their shoes on their feet, their staff in their hand, be ready to move out of bondage. And what happened? They woke up, was great crying in Egypt. He said, hey, y'all get out of here and bless me also. That was on the 15th day. That's the Feast of Unleavened Bread. But now, so if that's the case, if you cannot establish what you're seeing right now in Scripture, where did it come from? Why people going to church establishing this day, but you claiming to believe in the Bible, and the Bible has established a whole new year? Let's read it. This is from the Pagan Origins of Christian Holidays. It's a book I wrote a few years ago. It says something. This is chapter 2, January, honoring the God of new beginnings. Okay, it says January 1st, honoring the God of new beginnings. It says on the modern Gregorian calendar, January 1st is celebrated as the initial, peace to you, brother, as the initial day of the new year. Because the vast majority of the world has adopted the Gregorian calendar, New Year's Day is considered the only global public holiday. Like I said, I was watching television earlier, and I saw Hong Kong, I saw Pyongyang, I think they were in, but they showed North Korea, probably was the capital. I saw fireworks in Australia. I saw the Vatican. They weren't setting off fireworks. They were doing like a Eucharist, a mass. It seemed like the Thanksgiving service that they were having prior to the New Year coming in. They're going to do it where I'm at right now at 6:31. In a few hours, people around me, they're going to be shooting in the air, right? Celebrate the New Year. I went to the store today to do some shopping, to get some, the grocery store. And everybody, it was packed. It was packed. What people doing? They getting their food, they getting their liquor, because they're going to celebrate this New Year. I seen one kid grab a champagne bottle off the shelf and walk to her parents. The lady in front of me was buying wine, like 40 going north. Why? Because people going to bring in this New Year right. But not realizing this is not the New Year. This is not the New Year. So it's a global thing that's going on all around the world. Matter of fact, I was watching the CBS News story about what's going on in Australia right now, where they got it looks like 4,000 people trapped by wildfire. And what happened? They got 250,000 people. I believe it was 250,000 people said you need to postpone, or not even postpone. Don't have this New Year's Eve or New Year's celebration because these people trapped. You know what they did? They said, we're going to have this celebration. They don't do it anyway. That's what they said. We're doing it anyway. Them people be all right. And they showed pictures, and it looks like the people are trapped by a wildfire, and the wildfire seems like it ran the people to like they at the sea. They're like on the beach. Some people on the beach. So now he said, peace to you, brother. All praise to the Most High for any edification. And real quick, Joseph, you email me the books that you need, if you will, because I forgot which ones I gave you. So email me the names of the ones that I did give you. Not email, text me the ones that I did give you, and so I can give you the other ones, because there's some more I wanted to give you. Anyway, it says around the world, this celebration is commemorated by shooting fireworks and rounds of ammunition in the midnight sky. January 1st has been incorporated into the Catholic Church as well as the Eastern Orthodox Church. However, celebrating this date as the beginning of the new year was established from a pagan perspective. To find the origins of this pagan holiday, we need but only to look at ancient Rome. Before I keep reading, I just want to pick up something about January. This is from New World Encyclopedia, the New World Book Encyclopedia, under January. This is page 30 of this book under January. It says, January is the first month of the year according to the Gregorian calendar, which is used in almost all the world today. The month is named from Janus, a Roman god. According to Roman legend, the ruler Numa Pompilius added January and February to the end of the 10th month Roman calendar in about 700 BC. He gave the month 30 days. In 46 BC, Roman statesman Julius Caesar added a day to January and made it the first month of the year. The North people named the first month for Thor. Thor is where you get the word Thursday from. Wednesday was you get Woden from. Just side note. They're god of thunder and storms. Anglo-Saxons called it Wolf Month because wolves came into the villages in winter in search of food. But now I just wanted to point that out but January, Janus, the one is named after, this is on the next page under Janus. And I'm gonna just show you a picture of Janus. This is an old picture of Janus, two-headed. You see why? Janus, in Roman mythology, was a god who had two faces, as you see. Had two faces that looked in opposite directions, as you see. One face looked into the past and the other looked into the future. Janus served as the god of gates and doors and entrances of exits. Hence, that's why, side note, that's why custodians are referred to as janitors, because they got all the keys. The janitor gets you in every place in the building. That's where that comes from. His name comes from the Latin word janua, meaning gate. The Romans prayed to Janus at the beginning and end of any important action, especially a war. The doors to Janus's temple in Rome always remained open in wartime. They were closed only during the rare periods when Rome was at peace. The Romans called on Janus at the beginning of every prayer, even ahead of Jupiter, the king of the gods. January, the first month of the year, was named for Janus. Okay? Then it says other Indo-European peoples had a god who resembled Janus. For example, the early Hindus in Asia, or in India, prayed to a two-faced god named Vayu before starting any major undertaking. Okay? So now I'm going back to this book, The Pagan Origins of Christian Holidays, and see further how this day came to be. This is on page 18 in chapter 2, January 1st, honoring the God of new beginnings. In 46, Julius Caesar, with the assistance of the Egyptian astronomer Sosigenes of Alexandria, revised the previously used calendar and established the new year in January. However, this particular calendar was quite unsound. For instance, the year 46 BC, often referred to as the year of confusion, had 445 days and 15 months. On February 24, 582, Pope Gregory introduced the calendar, which is utilized throughout most of the world today, most of the known world today. The month January, I already stated, but I'll read it again, was named in honor of Janus, the god of new beginnings, gates, and doors. In early Rome, prior to the use of statues to represent their gods, the Romans worshipped Janus as a doorway. This is similar to how Vesta was considered naught else but living fire. Representations of Janus had two faces, one looking forward to the future and the other gazing backwards into the past. To Caesar, it was appropriate for the new year to be in this month because it would be the doorway to the new year. In honor of Janus, Romans engaged in what? Banqueting and licentious sexual activities. That's how they celebrate. Like they're going to be getting drunk, kissing each other in the mouth. All kind of stuff will be going on tonight. Partying, bringing it in the new year. That same thing. They're doing the same thing. Some people say, well, I'm going to go to church on the new year. I'm going to bring in the new year right. But is it the new year? No, it's not. So what are you doing? What are you doing? When the Bible clearly tell you when the new year is. So that's just a little bit about this day and the origins of it. It's nothing that we should observe. It's some foolishness when you really understand. And with that, brothers and sisters, I want to remind you that we at the Household of Faith meet every Sabbath at 5925 West 25th Avenue in Gary, Indiana at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. We live stream right here on the Israel YouTube channel, Israel Teach YouTube channel, as well as at www.israelteach.org. If you'd like to leave a donation, you can go to our website and do it through PayPal. Again, our website is www.israelteach.org. 100% of the proceeds goes to the work of the ministry, not in our pockets. And we are thankful for those who have donated. We're a small congregation, but we're able to do a lot because of your efforts. And we appreciate it. We appreciate that very much. And I want to say peace and blessings to everybody that's listening. And also we have Bible study every Friday on Zoom. Zoom.us. You just have to come to YouTube. You go to and you'll see the meeting ID number, and you type that in, and you could come, and it's a lot more interactive, and see your face. If you don't want to see how your face seems, you can hear your voice. If you have a question, and Lord, I can answer to the best of my ability according to what thus said the Lord. That's a beautiful thing about it, because I could just go to the Bible, you know. We can't rely on me and on myself, but I'm thankful for His word. You know, that's truly a blessing to have. Hard questions can be answered through the scriptures, and so I'm just thankful for that. And again, like, share, and subscribe, because that's my brother Leo told me this is through algorithms. So that's how that works. So Don't a like is free. And with that, brothers and sisters, it's always my prayer that you were edified.